In the month of May 2020, McKinsey came out with this shocking report that discussed how B2B organizations were responding to the COVID crisis. The sample size included nearly 3,900 CEOs from across the world, spanning a wide variety of industries. And it said that on average, they plan to reduce procurement costs by up to 50%. They said that they would continue to use this strategy even after 12 to 18 months after the COVID crisis would end. Now, take a moment and consider these numbers because they are going to significantly impact international trade and it will directly impact some of us here. There'll be cutthroat competition due to these budget cuts. And in order to win, organizations will need to write better business proposals. My name is Martin. I am a proposal writer and a proposal coordinator. Proposal teams help organizations write business proposals to customers aiming to win more business, and they help organizations stay afloat in a highly volatile and competitive world. Effective proposal teams give organizations the resilience needed to outwit the crisis. Now, when customers have issues and requirements, they put them up in a list or a document which they call the RFP. And it could be several hundred pages long. It could be really complicated. This RFP is released into the market and it usually has a time frame for people to respond to it. Now, anybody who wants to respond to it can. Now, when it comes to us, we pull in our best minds and then we try to respond to it. We pull in a compelling proposal. We try to write a compliant proposal and then we submit it to the customer. Now, not being compliant can get organizations into legal trouble. So it's one thing to be compelling, but being compliant is very, very important. Now, in this entire process, a lot of people get involved: sales teams, engineering teams, HR, finance, even CEOs for large deals that include several millions of dollars, so on and so forth. Ultimately, at the heart of this, there lies a proposal team. The proposal team consists of proposal managers, writers, and proposal designers. The process is extremely complicated and the people required for it have to be highly focused and very skilled. Let me give you an example to understand this better. Now, imagine if you go to a doctor to get a flu shot, and nowadays, if you get the flu, you have to go to get a flu shot, right? And the doctor prescribes some pill, and on the next day, you have to catch this flight from Cambridge all the way to, let's say, the Bahamas. And you notice just before embarking on that flight that the pilot is the same person who gave you that flu shot the other day. Now, how comfortable would you be to fly in that airplane? Now, this actually happened to 140 passengers of a Pan Am aircraft, and the pilot turned out to be a fraudster who turned the airplane on autopilot mode and let it fly at 30,000 feet. Imagine if you were one of those 140 passengers and you were sitting on that flight. What would your feeling be like if you knew what was happening? When he was eventually caught, the famous fraudster Frank Abagnale said, and I quote, "I did not even know how to fly a kite, and yet I flew that plane on autopilot." Now, flying airplanes and composing proposals are mission critical activities. And just like any mission critical activity, you need to have the right people to do the job. This means that you have to hire the right people to do the job. Members of proposal teams must therefore be tested before they're hired. You may want to test them on a live project, and you may also want to frequently train them and polish them. You should not also overwork them. You know, in organizations, workaholics tend to be worshipped, but workaholics end up making more mistakes than the average person. So you should not overwork a single individual. You would be better off spreading the work in the team. Now, here is what happens from a proposal manager's perspective in a sales process. Okay. First, you have the capture phase where you understand what market you're going to target and which account you're going to identify. And then once the RFP is released, the proposal manager assesses the RFP and understands whether or not our capabilities would meet the requirements of the RFP. And then they make the bid or no bid decision. The customer motivators and hot buttons are analyzed. Competition is analyzed. We're going to talk about these things a little further down the line. Then you have the proposal kickoff, where the proposal writer and managers, they discuss about deadlines, timelines, and plan how they're going to go about this whole thing. Proposal authoring includes everyone who's involved, and everyone tries to write a clear, compliant, and compelling proposal. Daily reviews are held to ensure everything is on track and as per schedule, and the RFP is finally submitted. A lessons learned analysis is performed to see what went well and what can be corrected. Throughout this, the proposal team has to ensure that compliance is maintained with RFP requirements, deadlines, and internal reviews. This whole thing runs like clockwork. It runs like a military operation. Information is even withheld from those who have no business regarding the proposal for the fear that proposal tactics may be leaked out to competitors. It's really interesting. Now, since this is such a laser focused, precision driven activity, we cannot afford to waste a single moment on rudimentary transactions. But there are so many rudimentary transactions, which is why it would be good to have a certain degree of automation. We interviewed a lot of people during this research, and we found out that 93% of people agree that bringing automation into proposal management would help them focus on tasks that are more strategic in nature, and it actually will not kill their jobs. They really need a certain level of automation. Now, for example, the Shipri Rose tool literally solves this problem of the infamous writer's block by writing executive summaries. ZBizLink, an AI and automation tool, aims to reduce workload of proposal teams significantly and deliver high quality and high accuracy. Like they say, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. Our research paper recommends using Shipley's methodologies, APMP's best practices to improve your strategies and your approach to proposal management, writing, and winning. You can use Kaizen, ADKAR, four-step methodologies, and other techniques to improve and implement change without causing chaos while trying to improve your proposal processes. Proposals ought to be effective, enjoyable, empathetic, and exuberant while being eloquent. The heart of a proposal is in its subtle strategy. A proposal strategy must be developed so that it encapsulates us, our customer, as well as our competition. When we write our proposals, we must not sell the features of our proposals, of our solutions alone, but we must help customers identify what benefits are coming out of our solutions. That's what you see in this slide. I'm going to give you a moment to take a look at it. The next thing that you have here is customers, issues, motivators, and hot buttons. These are things that you need to use strategically to make sure that your proposal is persuasive. Identify what the customer's issues are. These are mentioned in the RFP, but also identify what motivated them to create this RFP. Do they want to reduce cost? Do they want to improve quality? Do they want to increase productivity? What exactly is their motivating factor? And then understand what the hot buttons are, because hot buttons overlap issues and motivators. Then when you come to competition, you must ask if your solution is more beneficial than what the competition is providing. If that is so, how is your proposal going to emphasize on your strengths? And how are you going to mitigate any weaknesses if there are? Doing all of this together helps persuade customers logically. To create compelling content, it is vital to ask why we are writing in the first place. This is really, really important. If we cannot answer that question, we need to stop writing altogether. We need to answer who our key audience is. Because if you don't answer that question, you end up writing stuff that is really, really abstract. Then you need to answer this question: what needs to be said? How will this content benefit the reader? Is there any time frame that you're going to mention? And finally, will it beat a competitor solution? Remember that whatever you're writing is going to be read by someone, and you need to respect the time of the reader. And so keep your content crisp and tight. Make sure that what you're putting there is valuable. Every minute, every sentence has to be well purposed. Ruthlessly remove jargon. Now, because anything not clear enough is not compelling enough. This is a mantra we follow. Follow the make it easy policy. Remove jargon, remove unnecessary business buzzwords and uncommon words. Slice those long sentences and dice those long paragraphs. As a rule of thumb, any sentence that exceeds 25 words is not a good sentence. You need to cut that sentence down. Any paragraph that exceeds 6 to 7 lines is also not a good paragraph. You need to cut those paragraphs down. Graphics teams can further clarify content by adding good visuals, action captions, and call-out boxes to make proposals more engaging and reader-friendly. You know, we actually came across some really good proposals during our research. These proposals were entirely created on augmented reality and VR. These proposals were able to engage with customers. All these elements put together in the right proportion help bake the right proposal cake. Long gone are those days where we submitted bland proposals. Now we need to submit proposals that target the logic and the emotions of the reader. Because customers buy products and services, and that is only because they are subconsciously and emotionally drawn to them. It's only after that that they make up logical justifications to suggest why they've made those decisions. So there's always an emotional purchase first and then a logical justification. And in order for us to keep the evaluators interested and to ensure that the evaluators select us, a persuasive proposal must provide customers with the right logical justifications to select us emotionally. To proposal teams out there, this is how we would like to close our presentation. You know, winning has to be viewed as a mission critical, really important thing. And it takes a lot of effort, but viewing it that way makes winning possible. It makes winning consistent. It makes winning a habit, and it makes it a fun activity. And focused teams can and will win more business. Let's all win more business. Thank you.